Most people think that if they've named beneficiaries on their accounts, their estate plan is basically done. But here's the problem. Beneficiary designations are powerful, but they only do a very specific job. And if you rely on them alone, there's a good chance your plan won't work the way you think it will. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly what beneficiary designations do, and just as important, what they don't do. Beneficiary designations are instructions you put on certain accounts that say who gets that asset when you pass away. You'll commonly see these on retirement accounts like IRAs and 401ks, on life insurance policies, and sometimes on bank or investment accounts that are set up as payable on death or transfer on death. When you pass away, those assets typically go directly to the person you named without going through probate. That's one of the reasons people like them. They're simple, they're fast, and they can avoid the court process for those specific assets. Because of that simplicity, a lot of people assume beneficiary designations take care of everything. But that's where problems can start. A helpful way to think about this is to break things into two main categories. First, you have assets that pass by beneficiary designation, things like retirement accounts and life insurance. Those go directly to the person you named, regardless of what your will says. Second, you have everything else. Those assets are controlled by your will or your trust or by state law if you don't have a plan in place. The key is that these two systems need to work together. Sometimes problems arise when beneficiary designations and the rest of the plan are not aligned. Everything still gets distributed, but not necessarily in the way you intended. There are several things beneficiary designations do not do. First, they do not coordinate your overall plan. Each account stands on its own. You might think you've divided everything evenly among your children, but if your beneficiary designations say something different, those designations control. Second, they do not apply to all assets. Real estate, business interests, and personal property are often not controlled by beneficiary designations. Third, they do not replace a will or a trust. A beneficiary designation is not an estate plan, it's just one piece of it. Fourth, they do not plan well for contingencies. What if a beneficiary passes away before you? What happens if both spouses pass away? What if your beneficiaries are minors, or if they're adults and you don't want them to receive their inheritance in a lump sum? These situations often require more thoughtful planning. Fifth, beneficiary designations do not help if you become incapacitated. They only take effect at death, so they don't address who can manage things for you during your lifetime if you're unable to do so. And sixth, they do not provide protection for beneficiaries. In some situations, you may want assets protected from creditors, divorce, or poor financial decisions. A simple beneficiary designation does not do that. Now let's talk about some common mistakes. One mistake is naming individuals as beneficiaries without thinking about how that fits into the overall plan. Naming individuals is not necessarily wrong. In many cases, it's perfectly appropriate. But it should be an informed decision that is consistent with your broader estate plan. Another common issue is outdated beneficiary designations. People forget to update them after major life events, and sometimes an ex-spouse or a deceased person is still listed. A third mistake is failing to name contingent beneficiaries, backup beneficiaries, in case the primary person is no longer living. Another issue is unintended distributions. One account may go to one child, another account to a different child, and the overall result is not what was intended. And one of the most important points, your will does not override your beneficiary designations. The beneficiary form controls for that asset. I've also seen situations where everything was supposed to be divided equally among children, but because of how the accounts were titled and the beneficiaries were named, one child ended up receiving significantly more than the others. That's not usually intentional, but it happens when things aren't coordinated. So what should you do? Well, the goal is not to avoid beneficiary designations. They are useful tools. The goal is to make sure they are coordinated with the rest of your plan. That may mean reviewing them regularly, making sure they align with your will or trust, and thinking through different scenarios so your plan still works even if circumstances change. Estate planning is not about filling out forms. It's about making sure everything works together. Beneficiary designations can work very well when your situation is straightforward, your beneficiaries are responsible adults, and everything is aligned. But they are not a substitute for a complete plan. If you want to understand how all of this applies in your state, you can visit your state page at epseries.com for more guidance and resources.